wonderful day. So today we are going to talk about NFTs, and a lot of you have heard about NFTs, aka non-fungible tokens, and you know that there's a lot of money in NFTs. And today's guest is a woman named Teaila. Teaila. Make
You
sure you
got it right.
Teaila. Don't be mess up no black woman's name. We can't be having that today. And Teaila is really an expert in the NFT space. She's doing really big things. And so, without further ado, I'd like to ask Teaila, how you doing today, sister?
I'm doing fantastic. Thank you for having me. I appreciate you having me here today.
I am so glad you're here, and it's so nice to meet you. And also, I want to welcome everybody that's coming into the chat. I see Rosalind in here, and the rest of you as you come in. Hit the thumbs up button. Please hit the thumbs up, share, subscribe button. You know, this is the platform for intelligent Black people. You ain't got to be intelligent. You just have to want to be intelligent. That's the first step toward becoming intelligent. And Rita Jackson, I see you. And everybody, I want you to write Teaila's name in the chat, right? Teaila, look at it, it's on the screen.
It's on the screen.
Teaila. Everybody spell it. Teaila. Spell that Black woman's name because I want everybody to remember. So everybody write Teaila in the chat. All right, so Teaila, let's get started. So tell me about yourself. Where you live? Who are you? What do you do?
I'm from California, born and raised here in California. So and love it. I'm not going anywhere unless it's somewhere to go that I can fish because I'm a fishaholic. Everybody be like, I love to fish. I will fish day and night.
Really?
Love it. All day, all night.
Interesting. So how'd you get started fishing? What got you into that?
My dad, early on, there's nine of us in my family. And, early on, we would just go fishing. Dad would take us in the motorhome. We'd go fishing, catch fish. I have some brothers and sisters be like, I'm not touching a worm. I did learn how to put my own worm on because I was not going to wait for him to have to come put my worm on and not be able to put the pole in the water.
So, wow. Is your father still alive?
No, he passed 2 years ago.
Oh, I'm so sorry. What was your father's name?
Albert Richardson.
Albert Richardson. Everybody type Albert in the chat. So I share the Albert. We're gonna bring Albert into the room so he gets to hear his brilliant daughter speak. So that's interesting that you mentioned that you like to fish. And I'm gonna say what's going through my little brain. My spidey senses are basically saying that, I don't meet a lot of people where the first thing they tell me is I really love to fish. Oh, right. And that tells me that Albert, and what is your mother's name?
Lois Richardson.
That Albert and Lois, it sounds to me like they raise children that don't think like everybody else. Is that somewhat accurate, or how would you describe the way you were raised by Albert and Lois?
That's 1,000%. My dad had and mom very early on started their own business, whether it was a record store and different things like that. My mom used to sell wigs, but my parents always told us, "Hey, when we were thinking about whether we were going to go into the medical field, he'd be like, well, listen, own the hospital, don't work at the hospital." And so my husband, my dad has always told us those things as far as, if you're going to do something, be an entrepreneur, own your own business. And so through the years, I've had a barbecue restaurant. I've never really had an 8 to 5 job. I've always done my own thing simply because my dad and my mom have really given us that go ahead. So I try to do the same thing with my kids.
Wow. I love that. And how many kids do you have, by the way?
2. I have Majesty and Miles. My daughter Majesty.
Majesty and Miles. I love that.
My M&M kids. But she graduated from UCLA. It's been about a year and a half since she's been out of UCLA, and my son Miles is at Fresno State. He's a junior at Fresno State.
Wow. Well, I know UCLA ain't cheap. So
it's not. But thank God, listen, she don't have no loans. So God has blessed.
Wow. Well, you know what? I really like that. I like hearing about your family and the culture, Albert and Lois and the M&M kids and everything. And the reason I wanted to start the conversation there is because as we move into that main topic of today, of how you've been able to make so much money with NFTs and do so well in that space. Yes. I want to reiterate to everybody that's listening that the reason that these questions, that these little statements that are seemingly insignificant, like I love to fish. My daddy taught me, my daddy taught me to fish. My mom, he used to tell me to have my own business, all that. These are little things that make a big difference in our community, right? Because you've got a lot of our people that feel almost helpless. And a lot of times I think they feel helpless because they feel that the only way they can have an opportunity is if somebody out there gives it to them or whatever. But then there are those of us who know how to fish. Mm-hmm. And Albert and Lois said, we're going to make sure our daughter, I'm going to call you TT. I'm playing. Look, we're going to make sure little TT knows how to fish, right? And that I think is a translation into the next part of our conversation, because you've been fishing in the NFT space. Tell us about. Let's brag for a minute. Everybody, put TT in the chat. TT's her nickname. That's gonna be a name. This is our TT. All right, so TT, I want you to brag a little bit about some of your accomplishments in the NFT space and how you and I ended up even face to face having this interview. I didn't know who TT was a month ago, but I know TT now. And I'm gonna let TT tell you why I know exactly who TT is, and I ain't gonna forget. Go ahead, TT. Tell us about some of your NFT accomplishments.
Some of my NFT accomplishments. If you can see, I do actually have a T-shirt on it. I don't just normally wear a T-shirt. I'm like, it's an interview. I'm like, well, listen, this is actually a Bored Ape T-shirt right here. And so, yeah, this is a Bored Ape T-shirt.
I'm gonna put your solo on the screen so they can see your Bored Ape T-shirt. Let's see if I can make you solo. Let me see here. Here we go. There she is. Okay, so y'all see that Bored Ape T-shirt?
This is a Bored Ape T-shirt right there.
Okay, so tell us about the Bored Apes. What does that? Why is that significant in the NFT space?
I mean, right now, most people who are coming and are new in the NFT space, that's one of the projects that most people hear about. You'll hear a lot of professionals and even actors who own them, like Steph Curry owns a Bored Ape, Serena Williams, Snoop Dogg. They all have invested in the NFTs, in the Bored Ape project. But for me, I was blessed to get in back in May of last year when the price was like $1,200, $1,300. So less than a year later, you know, to try to go get a Bored Ape now is going to cost you about $230,000. That's the baseline floor. If you don't have a rare Bored Ape, that's literally the starting price for you to actually get involved into the Bored Ape projects right now.
Okay, so you got into the Bored Ape projects at $1,200. And that means now how many investments did you make? I mean, how many NFTs did you purchase? Like what did that look like? Not to tell too much of your business, but just ballpark.
No, and with the Bored Apes, I bought one Bored Ape. And I normally will buy several of items when I'm buying, for example, like some of the Sandbox land games that I've invested in, the metaverse. Everybody's into like what the metaverse, the Oculus goggles. That's the best way I can kind of help people understand is that, you know, you're in the Oculus and whether you're working out or you're fishing, like I fish in my Oculus every day. But that's the metaverse aspect. And even when I look at the metaverse aspect of, you know, some of the investments that I made into Sandbox, which were several $100s. But today the floor, even on some of those basic lands, are going to cost you $8,000 to $10,000. And if you have a bigger piece of property within the metaverse, then now you're talking about even $500,000 just for owning some of those lands that you might have paid a couple $1,000s for when you first invested. Okay.
So, first of all, congratulations. I think that's really awesome. You know, everybody clap for TT. we love in this space. We love to see Black people making money and succeeding. So that's the first thing. The second thing I'm really curious about is you have a passion in making sure that our people are aware of what's happening in the NFT space. And I know a lot of our people are intimidated by NFTs. You know, their big problem is I see the money over there. I just don't know how to go get it. Like this is scary. But they're watching the world kind of move forward, and they're sort of trying to figure out, okay, what should my next move be? First of all, how did you end up in that space to begin with? I mean, are you a tech person? Are you like what led you in that area?
Not tech at all. No, not me. But really, I am not the techiest person. I can get on the computer and do all those things, but I'm not a techie person. And I think that's where one of the fears that a lot of people think about is you have to be techie to get into the NFT space. No, you just need to know how to research the projects. You need to know how to, go and research the projects and figure out how to get invested in them. But to answer your question, how I got started, my sister and I, Jessica, she's like my go-to. We're like, I have a Sisters Talking NFT show that we do weekly on live to educate people about the NFT space. When we first started, we got invested into the NBA Top Shot. That was like the digital aspect of cards. You could buy these digital cards. And then our portfolio literally we're in like the top 0.1 percentile of having that many NFTs in that particular the NBA Top Shot. So that was how we really got it started first. That was one of the investments that we definitely started doing. And then from there, we started investing into the metaverse. Everybody keeps talking about Facebook and the meta. They're starting all the things called the meta. But there is so much opportunity within the metaverse. Most people don't think about it. Literally, they just think, well, oh, it's a metaverse. But there's a lot of aspects, whether you're going to rent the lands, you're going to do all those different things. There's a lot of opportunity for people to get invested in that particular space.
All right. Well, everybody who just came in, I'm talking to Miss Teaila Kidd in Teaila. We
Yes.
call her TT over here. That's the new nickname. But Teaila is an expert on NFTs and is also fortunately she's actually partnering with the Black Business School, and we're doing a free event next week on how to get started with NFTs. And Teaila is going to lead that discussion. I'm going to join her more so as a student who asks the piercing questions as opposed to the expert, because I'm learning about NFTs myself. So if you'd like to join the event, everybody, you can just go to my website, boycewatkins.com. I put it on the screen, and there's a link right there at the top to join the event. So just go to boycewatkins.com, and the link is right there. You can join us, and we're going to spend 2 days talking about the metaverse, digital real estate, NFTs, all that stuff. So Teaila, let me ask you this question. When people talk about what's going on with NFTs, and you see that much money being made that fast, the first thought that came to my mind is, okay, is this real? Is this scammy? Is this pump and dump kind of space? And I imagine that it is kind of treacherous territory if you don't know what's going on in that space, right?
Absolutely. I would say the same thing. I think most people think that like people, they're scammers in the regular world. And so, so no matter do you think that they're just gonna come over to NFT space and be good now? They're not. And so but it is a way, as far as, you need to make sure you're getting educated to secure your stuff, whether you're going to buy the NFTs. Scammers all day long are going to do the same thing, whether it's people going into Discords. And I see it to happen pretty much every day. Someone new gets into the NFT space, joins a Discord group, gets a bogus link, buys something, and it's really a fake. But that's the importance of making sure you get educated, because NFTs drop every day, all day long. And so the importance of getting educated is the most thing, the biggest thing I can tell anyone. You have to get educated. You have to know how to go in and how to do the research. We teach a script. It's called the script method. We'll cover that also on the training next week too, of making sure people at least know, how do you go in and do your research? How do you figure out which project to get into or to not get into? And how do you know when to get out of those projects? Because that's even a bigger equation, as far as, knowing when to get out is even more important than knowing when to get in.
Okay. And so, it almost seems to me that the risk of ignoring the NFT space and ignoring the metaverse movement and ignoring digital real estate is that by the time you jump in, say 3, 4, 5 years later, everything's inflated in value and price, and it's very hard to get into that. Can you kind of I remember my teammate Chanel told me about you. One thing she said is TT. Well, she didn't call you TT. I'm gonna call you TT. It is okay, right? It's okay if I call you TT.
Yeah, you're good.
Okay. So she said that TT wants to really hurry up and do this class because things are changing so fast. Can you kind of speak to that in terms of the urgency of jumping into this space before it gets too convoluted?
I will. In one aspect, I'll talk to you along the line of just even with the land. If you don't know the benefits of being able to, what you can do with your metaverse land, whether you're going to go in and even renting. If I just even talked about just being able to rent my metaverse land for people to come on, and the best way I can tell you is when you're talking about the Oculus thing, is of people having an experience, whether they're going to be in the Oculus glasses, but you can get paid for that. That's one aspect as far as what you can do in the metaverse is you literally can get paid for people going on and doing an experience. If you create a game on your land, people who come in there will pay you in cryptocurrency or however you have your payment method set up. They will pay you on that. On some of my Sandbox land, I'm able to go on there and advertise my business. If I want people to continue to come to my website, I can go on there, put my website on there. They'll click my link and go to my website. So it's another avenue of being able to get funds in that way. And then the most important one is if I don't want to do anything, because like in real life, I really own regular rentals and I own Airbnbs. There is no money like the metaverse money. I don't have no toilets. I don't have no AC. I don't have no roofs. I don't have nothing. And so, but literally, if I went in and just rented my land in the metaverse for, some of the big companies that are getting into the space, whether it's Nike and all of those different companies that are getting involved with within the space, that I can rent my land to them and make residual money every single month without the headaches. So that's why I'm investing into the metaverse. And then one other thing I'll speak to, if you don't mind, as far as the other way for people to get involved is going to be the art aspect. I think many people in our community are gifted. I mean, beyond imagination, but they just don't have the funds to go out and get an art gallery. They don't have the funds to pay the overhead or to have all the startup costs. But within the NFT space, that you need a tablet or a phone that you can design on and literally make residual type income from if you go on and you create a digital, let's say if you create a digital art piece and you put it up for sale, you will be forever paid on that particular art piece, the royalties. So I think that's the other thing that's really big. And I think a lot of people are missing it. And they're thinking that they just have to come in here and buy. No. Listen, come in here and figure out how to sell your stuff and make the money. That's a bigger play.
Wow. Everybody, I'm speaking with Teaila Kidd, and we are talking about making money with NFTs and making money in the metaverse. Do me a favor, hit the thumbs up button, thumbs up. Also, you can follow Financial Juneteenth on Instagram if you'd like. If you'd like to sort of talk about Black wealth, that's what we focus on. That's what we believe in. And also, don't forget, I want to remind you guys that next week, Teaila is going to be a guest lecturer in the Black Business School. She's going to come in and we're going to talk about NFTs in detail. And she's going to talk about how the game works, how to get involved, stuff like that. So if you want to join us for this special event next week, just go to boycewatkins.com. The link, I put it right there at the top of my website, right there at the top. And you can join us for the event. So Teaila, let me ask you about your family again. Okay, so you said you invest with your sister. Okay. Now, your other siblings, how did they feel about the NFT stuff? I mean, did when you started talking to them about digital real estate and all that? I don't know if your parents are like mine. My parents would be like, that ain't real.
You know what we did? Because even my mom, and my mom's over 70, my mom literally went in and bought NBA Top Shots. Literally. Whoa, yes, my mom has invested in NBA Top Shots, and she owns some LeBron moments. Because what we did with our family, my sister Jessica and I, we literally got everybody on the family like, hey, listen, we've been trying to tell you guys to buy these packs of cards. They're $10 or they're $100. We're telling you to buy the cards. No one would, they would buy. And we're like, oh, I got to it. Maybe I didn't get to it. So we got on a family Zoom call. We were like, listen, we're going to open up a couple of packs of cards for y'all. And we literally started opening up packs of cards and we would show them, okay, that one right there, that was a $20, that was a $10 pack of card. That card there is worth $5,000. That card right there is worth $3,000. And ever since then, they have been on board. My brothers and sisters love the NFT space. So,
wow. So you said you got on a family, you said family Zoom call?
Oh, yes, sir. Yes.
Okay. And now do y'all do these family Zoom calls regularly? Is this a scheduled thing? Or tell me about that.
If we need to do something, if we're getting a particular drop, or we have our family a text group that we'll simply be like, hey, this particular drop is happening. Y'all need to get it or go sign up for this. So we do that. But again, many of my brothers and sisters were early on, we're trying to figure out how to even get involved with it. And one of my sisters, we'd be like, if Arzella can do this, anybody can do this. Because she was more skeptical about doing it. But she'll be putting alerts in there like, well, hey, such and Micah Johnson is having such and such. And so she's actually figured out how to research it. And it takes a little bit of time, to get educated on it. But, and I don't want to brag, but my family, that's like, there's a project that my family have been blessed to get into. And it's called the Clone X. It's made by Artifacts. Nike just acquired Artifacts. So that's how big this particular project is. And, many of them, because we got invested early on into some of their other projects, we were able to buy some of their Clone X's for $300. Today, the floor on Clone X's is over $30,000.
Ooh, wow.
This just happened in December.
The floor meaning like the lowest price that they would go for at auction.
The lowest price. If I want to go sell it right now, the floor would be $30,000. But there's rarity, so sometimes if you get the ones that we paid $300 for. If you got a rare one, means it's more unique. That's when you get into that unique item thing. You're talking about something that's a 6-figure item that you paid $300 for. So I know many people are always concerned about, well, man, the cost is just so high to get into some NFT projects. It may be now, but there are still other projects that are coming out where that opportunity is still available for you.
Well, you know what, y'all? Next week, when Miss Teaila, the amazing daughter of of Lois and what's your father's name
Albert.
again?
Albert.
And Lois. When she comes to the Black Business School, I'm gonna tell y'all something. Y'all gonna see a Boyce Watkins NFT collection coming out shortly thereafter. So we are gonna meet next week in the Black Business School. The event is free. Just go to boycewatkins.com. You can click the link at the top and you can register and join us to come see Miss Teaila. Now, Teaila, how can people follow you on Instagram or social media?
What's NFT? What's NFTs.com. That's the best way for people to get a hold of what's NFTs.com. That's my free Facebook group. We try to post information in there for them to be able to learn about NFTs. And we're also doing that in the Black Business School too. So we'll be posting there also. So
Awesome. Well, I know you came recommended also by Courtney Logan, yes. Who we partner with on our Forex programs, and we just love Courtney. And what we really like is this what's happening now where Black people are educating Black people. This is a big movement online, and I think that's appropriate. I believe we should have been educating ourselves in the first place. Our ancestors used to do it after slavery, and they did a better job than the school systems today. And also the way you link investing, learning, and family kind of all together. The reason I asked about the family Zoom meetings because our family does the same thing. We meet on Zoom, and we find that it's just like meeting at grandma's house for Sunday dinner. Yes. We get together, we see the kids, how big they've grown. We talk about what's going on in the world, but then we talk about money and talk about wealth, and we talk about making moves together. And so shout out to the Kidd family, right?
Richardson family.
Richardson family. I'm sorry. Are you married?
I'm married. 25 years. Yes, 25 years.
25 years. Okay. Shout out to that. Everybody clap for that. Give her a digital round of applause for that. And shout out to Mr. Kidd. Yes, and also to the Richardson family, because this is what I want everybody to see. This is an example of how wealth is very cultural. And I want y'all to understand that from that first sentence when Mrs. Kidd came in, I'm calling Mrs. Kidd, TT. We got a lot of nicknames now.
I got different names. I'm good.
Yeah, when Mrs. Kidd came in, first thing she said is that I love fishing, which y'all don't hear a lot of. That was a kind of a unique statement, right? Well, it seems to me like with NFTs, you're kind of doing the fishing, and then also the values you were taught by your parents about sort of self-sustainability and creating your own opportunities. That's translated into your wealth journey. So you will never be that person sitting around saying, I can't get ahead because they won't help me out. They won't give me no job. They just, so I like that. I really like that. I want everybody to know why I love that so much. So thank you.
Thank you very much for that.
Absolutely. So everybody, if you want to join the event next week, you can just go to boycewatkins.com. The link is right there at the top. And Ms. Kidd, anything you want to say before we bounce out?
Thank you for the opportunity. I look forward to seeing everybody next week. Like I said, we need to get in there together and figure out how to make the money. Again, I own land. I don't want to have to rent you my land. I want you to own some land and be rented to somebody else. And so I think it's going to be very important, as we come on and figure out how you can get invested. Again, getting invested early is very, very important. There's going to be other opportunities for you to get a Bored Ape project that, for the $1,200. Some people I know got them for $700. And so there's going to be those opportunities for you to go on and do those things early. We're still early. You think about it, maybe only 4% of the U.S. are even invested in NFTs. And so there's a big upside still available for the NFT space. But you just have to get educated and know exactly what to invest in.
All right. Well, if you want to talk to Mrs. Kidd, aka TT, aka Teaila Kidd, then if you want to talk personally directly, just go to boycewatkins.com. You can get the link. Join us in the special event. It's going to be in the Black Business School. It's totally free, and we're going to talk about NFTs for hours. And I'm going to be right there because I'm actually making NFT moves myself. We all should be. So take care, everybody. God bless you, and thank you again, TT. It was great.
Thank you.
Teaila Kidd. Teaila Kidd, her real name. I call her TT. So all right. Take care, everybody. Have a good day. Bye-bye now.